We've been using Zudy Vinyl for a good 2 years now. We started in the commercial space, but we've started to use Zudy Vinyl across both our R&D and commercial business areas now. Our first use case for Zudy Vinyl was actually to implement and automate workflows for some complex tasks with a lot of handoffs. One example was as we onboarded a great number of employees at the late end of 2019 and early 2020. We had about 100 people that needed to be onboarded in a short time frame. A lot of handoffs, a lot of people involved, and a lot of steps that could go off the rails if we didn't have some clear structure for how the handoffs would work. Using the Zudy Vinyl platform, we were able to automate that workflow and make sure that everybody was on task and on point. We started to expand to additional workflows from there, and then we started getting into more custom application for niche solutions and individual business problems that people were bringing to IT to solve. I'd say the most valuable feature within Zudy Vinyl, first off, just the ability to quickly and without having to worry about digging into code, put together user interfaces that match the business requirements and the user's expectation to do rapid deployment. A couple of the things that we really put to work in a lot of our applications are the use of structured communication and notification that's triggered by business events. So when an activity is completed in the system, Zudy is able to integrate with our address book and our Outlook to send the appropriate notices and the appropriate deliverables to the people who need to use them next, so that they can pick the task up without having to go back into the system to know that there's something on their plate. The speed of development for custom applications has been incredibly rapid and really exceeded not only IT's expectations, but also the business users as well. Often when we're brought a new idea or when we conceptualize a new idea, by 2 or 3 business days later, we have a conceptual prototype that we're able to put in front of our business users and start building from there. Many of our applications have only taken 1 to 2 weeks to stand up into a test environment and have them deployed to production within a week about after that. For one of the applications that we developed completely custom with the Zudy Vinyl platform was a integrated hub and integrated portal for our sales force. So we have about 300 people as customers. We've essentially built a single point of entry for information, various applications and sub-applications that are also built on Vinyl. But the entire sales force can go in and have customized information specific to the sales force and sometimes specific to them right at the interface for them. Some of the things that they can do is receive specific communications that are categorized across different areas of marketing. They've got access to custom applications such as a digital detailing aid that we used when we were still trying to stand up our CRM in the wake of the COVID transition, where they could access materials and detailing aids that they would put in front of their customers. They're also able to update some of their employee information, which integrates with our ADP system. And they're also able to access videos and presentations that different areas of marketing put out for them. It took about 3 months to stand up all of the features we wanted in the sales employee portal. The first few features were developed in a matter of weeks, but as we identified different business requirements that we realized we wanted to enable for the field's use, we were able to quickly identify the requirements, build on the module, and tack it into the delivery workflow. So the overall delivery of the portal, while stretching out over a course of several weeks, was actually the kind of a stack of different smaller rollouts that each only took 3 to 5 weeks to develop. So Zudy Vinyl integrates really well through the APIs and through other data integrators. We've worked with about 4 or 5 other different systems that we've tied Zudy to, including Viva, including ADP, including Oracle, and I have yet to bring up a system where we have an idea for an interface or an exchange of information where we haven't figured out some way to make that connection, either through a direct API or by using a creative like FTP process where we drop files someplace and have the other system pick them up. So the integration is a huge accelerator into enabling new business processes. We have, as a small company, we have a few different systems that otherwise couldn't talk to each other, and we recognize from the IT perspective the value that data and the change in status of certain data in one area could influence the ability to take action in another. So with these integration points, we're able to essentially create that communication from one system to another, letting system B know that something completed or is ready in system A, and that allows our users to know that they're ready to complete a task. Without that, we'd be relying on a lot of manual communication. We'd be relying on individuals sending emails saying, hey, by the way, this is ready in system A. Now we have the system recognizing it and shooting that email off automatically with all the instructions necessary. So Zudy is really easy to use. I'm a non-developer myself, and I'm able to hang out in the conversations with our technical folks and with the Zudy consultants who drive a lot of the work development for us. The no-code or low-code platform is extremely intuitive. Our users are able to even visualize solutioning, and when we're working through an app, they're able to picture a way something would work. They're familiar with the way Zudy might help them engage the information that they want to work with, and it's been a very easy conversation and an easy development process, both within IT and with the business customers. Zudy continuously looks for feedback and takes learnings from the development that we are putting in place to figure out how to make the product better. Over the course of the relationship, I've seen two releases to a new version, as well as some hot fixes that have been put in place specifically because of things we found while we were developing. One example of that is a text editing feature they have. So we've taken a lot of folks out of email and out of Outlook for their communications, and given them an interface in Zudy's Vinyl platform to actually do their authoring and formatting and things like that. So while those messages ultimately push back out to Outlook to reach some of the users don't have to write it in one place and then port it over to another. In the initial rollout, the text editor wasn't 100% what we were looking for, but we were able to get the job done. But after just some discussions and finding ways to use different plugins in the short term, Zudy actually came back a few months later and said that they've integrated a standard product into their text editing that checked all the boxes for us and has made it a lot easier to not only support the product but to use it for new business ideas. Certainly brought a bunch of new things to the table. I think one of them was the text editor that I was just describing. I think that the general interface for Zudy that is when you first come into the product to look for the different apps you've developed, it's a little bit more intuitive. It's a little bit more of a little bit more organized. We bypass a lot of that with our employee portal, but when we do have to go out to that interface, it certainly is. It's easy to navigate. What scalability is meant for the field is that when we were shut down, for example, after the COVID pandemic hit, we had to pivot very quickly to give our sales force a way to engage HCPs virtually when they were initially anticipating being out in the field with them, being live with them. So we were able to stand up products that helped them achieve that objective. We had short-term fixes for some of the other business challenges, but the most mission-critical one was to get out there and start selling, start meeting our HCPs. Once we delivered that core capability, we were able to circle back, look at some of the secondary requirements, and start to deliver those. We actually built new features, built them right into the tools they were already used to accessing, and they simply had either broader menus or more selections or more options when they went in, but they never lost the core functionality. And that was huge for us because we were able to get people out to the field quickly, and then we took the things that were not critical path and we delivered them at the time that was right for them instead of trying to wait until everything was ready and then deliver it as a single waterfall approach. Zudy's Vinyl product is a perfect sort of middleware for the different applications we've got scattered around our infrastructure. What I like about it is that we know how to use it to get one system to talk to another or to pull information from multiple systems into one view for dashboarding or metrics or reporting. And I think its ability to integrate with those various systems and fill the white space between those systems where business users have needs is really what's made it a differentiator at our organization. We're using Zudy Vinyl to like I said, to fill white space between some of the existing business processes that are happening in systems that are already standing up. So to say, is it running back-end, fully running back-end processes in the office? I'd say we're not using it for that purpose, but I think the overall capability of the tool is certainly demonstrated to be one where if we really wanted to jack up the amount we're putting in there, the sky's really the limit as far as I'm concerned on what we could actually pull into Vinyl and process. There's nothing I've really felt has been completely lacking from the Zudy perspective. Every time I've gone to the Zudy team and asked them for a read on being able to develop to implement a certain feature, do something a certain way, there's always been a way to do it. And that might be the limitation of our vision, but it seems to me that the tool and in particular the staff at Zudy really understand how to use the tool creatively to address just about any business problem that I've brought their way. So one of the features that we that they were able to add as part of a business need, kind of on the fly, was an integration of DocuSign, as well as an integration of an iPad touch signature pad. These were plugins that they were able to integrate with the tool as they built it, and we were able to create some cool stuff like attestation forms or sign-off forms, where if we wanted to capture an official DocuSign signature or just a scanned signature, we were able to take those tools, integrate them with a PDF presenter, and actually push electronic versions of forms out to people that they could then sign or acknowledge right on their iPads. And then the system would then save that as a final document that we could then archive. That wasn't a kind of out-of-the-box feature that Zudy had, but using the platform and pulling in other applications the way that we envisioned using them, we were able to create things that met our business need. We've found the stability of the Vinyl platform to be extremely reliable. We have had some point outages at times where a plugin or something that interfaces with the Vinyl platform was out on its own, and the experience is that the employee portal is down or the app is down. But we've actually found, after investigating, that the Vinyl app was functioning perfectly. The challenges came into play when an integrated piece was out itself. So I have no examples for you on when the Vinyl platform itself was out on and causing business problems for us. Technical support has been great. I tend to work with one or two consultants primarily, who are my interface to the team. But whenever we have issues that need to be investigated, they're interfacing on my behalf, and we're usually getting answers within hours or within a business day or two. Zudy's Vinyl platform is the primary solution we evaluated for the workflow automation. And once we brought the system and the platform in house, we found that we were able to use it for additional business needs where we might have otherwise gone out to market to look at commercial off-the-shelf systems for particular business needs that even were not workflow oriented. So the advice I'd give someone who's thinking of implementing Zudy Vinyl is absolutely to give it a really strong look. Speak to the Zudy staff about your particular business cases. I think that if you're using Excel spreadsheets or if you're using workflows that are primarily dependent on human manual communication, this solution will address so many of those needs. It's definitely a great application that we've brought in. I continue to find new uses for it on a daily basis almost. As I mentioned, we've implemented over 35 now, close to 40 applications that have ranged from a huge multi-user system to simple business accelerators that help a small team do something in a new way or in a more effective way. And I don't see a real end to that as we grow and continue to evolve our processes. I don't have a rough estimate. If I had to think about it across the 40 applications, I'm not even sure I can give you an order of magnitude. But not only in the time savings and the effort savings, but the ability to do something where we simply just couldn't do it. As I mentioned, with COVID kind of throwing everyone for a curveball last March, there were simply things we weren't able to do. We didn't know how to visualize them, and to stand up a commercial solution that would have addressed our Salesforce's need would have taken more time than we would have wished in order to get our Salesforce out and selling. So in addition to the time savings, just the ability to enable people with an effective solution where there was really no alternative, and to do it quickly and effectively has really been the key value add for my company with Zudy. On a scale of 1 to 10, just with a general impression, I'm going to give them a 10 for what I need them to do. When I think about not just Vinyl, but Zudy as a service provider and a partner, they're really checking all the boxes for us, both in terms of the human capital they bring to the table, the flexibility of the platform, the creativity. It's really doing everything for us that we'd want it to do right now. As mentioned, I haven't gone out to the market to look at a lot of comparators. But I can't imagine that any of them are going to blow my expectations away the way that the Vinyl platform has.